My biological mother and her husband struggled with drug and alcohol abuse my entire childhood. And as a result of their addiction, I faced a lot of emotional and physical abuse. And so I had to be taken into care. And I'm so thankful to the department that they had stepped in and given me the opportunity that they did to grow at that time. Sorry, I'm trying not to get emotional, you guys. So I struggled with a trauma and just a general sense of not feeling like I really belonged anywhere, because my mindset was very much, if my own family didn't want me, then who would? I was kicked out of several homes because I had a lot of behavioral issues. And by the time I was 14, so in less than a year of being in care, I was considered one of the hardest to place children in the state of Arkansas. And luckily, Abby Rundell, who I believe is here today, an amazing woman, took me into her group home, Fostering Change, and helped me meet my parents, Mark and Heather. And although I was never officially adopted by my parents, I still refer to them every single day as mom and dad. But unfortunately, at that time in my life, I was not at a place that I didn't struggle with self-sabotaging behavior, and I had to move out of their home at 16. They still love me very much, and I still see them every day. I still go to church with them every day. But at that time, I did have to leave their home. And I ended up moving in with one of my teachers at the time, who, unfortunately, she was not in a place in her life where she could adequately foster a child with such behavioral issues. We often would get into disputes about why I was the way I was, or why I talked the way I did, or why I just acted how I acted. And one time she told me, shortly before she kicked me out after I fell pregnant at the age of 17, that if she didn't get a check for me, she would have happily put me out on the street. And this wasn't the first time that I had heard things like that. One of my teachers in high school told me that I was never going to amount to anything, and I would always be unsuccessful because of how and who I was. But luckily for me, I graduated at the top of my class, and now Thank you. And now I'm currently studying forensic psychology at SNHU as undergrad before law school. At the time that I was removed from my foster mother's home, and it was truly by the grace of God that I was placed with Marie Robinson, who you have all seen today, and she is one of the greatest and strongest individuals that I know, and without her, I truly would not be where I am. And she was partnered with 100 Families through her position of community coordinator for 0 to 3, which, in case y'all didn't know, is an amazing initiative that helps families with wraparound services that have DCFS and court involvement who have children ages 0 to 3. And I remember I was 17, pregnant, about to turn 18. I didn't have a job and I didn't know what I was going to do. And I knew that I was having a daughter, which scared me more than anything. And I struggled with a constant fear of what if. What if I turn out like my mom? What if my daughter resents me for having her before I was ready to? And what if I can't provide a good life for her? And one day Marie told me about 100 Families, and they were hiring an administrative assistant. And I will be completely honest with y'all, I had no idea what an admin did. I had no idea what 100 Families did, but I figured, why not just go ahead and apply? And so I did. And about a week after I had turned 18, I got a text from Heather asking for an interview. And I walked into the main office downtown, and I was shaking so hard. I picked out my best outfit, and I was like, there's no way I'm going to get this job. I have no idea what I'm doing. I've only worked retail. There's no way I'm going to get a job here. But in case y'all didn't know, I am incredibly charming and charismatic, so really I think that's what did it for me. I think that's won me the job. And it wasn't long after I had started my position as administrative assistant that I realized the beauty of the initiative. I watched every single day as families were impacted by the 2-gen approach. And what drives me every single day to do the work that I do is seeing parents want to get better for their children, because I know that my mom never did that for me. Sorry. And all of y'all who knew me when I struggled with a lot of my issues knew that I almost never cried. I didn't believe it was a thing I had the capability of doing, so this is very hard for me to stand in front of you all and get emotional about things. But every single day, as I saw the impact and I saw what 100 Families did, I decided to one day just walk into Courtney Harlan's office, who is one of our beautiful, amazing case managers. And I closed her door and I asked if I can do an intake for myself. I had never considered accepting that kind of help before because I thought that I was above it. I thought that admitting you needed help made you a failure. But to this day, I know that that is one of my greatest accomplishments, learning to accept help. If there's anything you take away from what I've said today, please let it be this. Just because you are a helper or in a position to make a difference does not mean you're above being helped. A part of the human condition, it seems, is to be prideful, to be afraid to fall and to fail. But when we take a chance to truly reflect on where we are in life and all the places that we hope to be, I think it's vital to understand the strength that comes with vulnerability. I believe it was Martha Beck who once said, "Vulnerability is the secret to resilience, and our families are nothing if not resilient." I often wonder how differently things might have been for me if my mom was vulnerable or if she learned to accept that kind of help. And I wonder how much better I might have turned out, but I think I'm doing pretty okay. I'm so blessed to work for an initiative that has helped to turn my what-ifs into why-nots. Why not be better than what I had? Why not be a lawyer? Why not fight for others to know that they are way more than where they come from? I have lived many places, but Fort Smith and Sebastian County as a whole will always hold a special place in my heart. It's here that I had met my family and that I've had the unbelievably gracious opportunity to work alongside so many great men and women who have the drive, compassion, and focus to service those within their communities. Before I turn the mic over, I ask that you take each day as a chance to turn your what-ifs into why-nots. Thank you so much.